Right, so what is up guys, SDPeasy here, and today we're going to be talking about Warzone Season 4, Modern Warfare Season 4, that is obviously released today. I hope all of your downloads have gone nice and quickly. At the time of recording this at currently 3 PM, I started my download at 10 AM this morning, and we're currently on 21%, so I'm not going to be playing the game until at least tomorrow at best. Thank you to my internet for that one. But today I thought I'd cover everything new so you are aware when you actually do get to jump into the game after this massive update, you're aware of what you're going to encounter. So, of course, let's get the main things out of the way. Of course, we have two new guns in the Galil and the Vector, both guns that have already been in Call of Duties before. The Vector, a fantastic SMG, and I've seen a lot of gameplay of Vicstar using it already and absolutely melting people, so I can see that's already going to be a pretty overpowered weapon. It's going to be a weapon that's probably going to rival the MP5 and the MP7 for your secondary SMG slot on Warzone, so it could be a very useful weapon and does look like it shreds pretty much so far. Same for the Galil, it's just an assault rifle from previous Call of Duties. It's been in multiple Call of Duties over the year, and it looks pretty good from what I've seen so far. Fire rate nice and decent, seems to have a decent sort of recoil, not anything too crazy, not anything too silly. But in terms of the new weapons, I think we've got very good weapons, and that's very exciting. New weapons that hopefully you'll come across in Warzone, as well as multiplayer. Now, on the idea of weapons, of course, the floor loot and weapon drops in Warzone obviously will now change. You won't get your standard weapons you normally got in Season 3. The standard weapons will become different. Some of the main ones, I believe the Bison is pretty common floor loot now. You've got the M13 as a pretty common assault rifle, the FAMAS equivalent type gun. They're all going to be fairly similar. I think you can only get the MP7 maybe in grey now, or maybe green. There's a lot of new blueprints from the store are now in as floor loot instead of the previous, which is obviously nice to see. You'll be picking up different guns, trying out different weapons, and maybe you want to buy that weapon from the store just because you've used it in a game. You've got a cheeky dub in Warzone and you thought you really enjoyed that, so maybe you'll pick that up. So that's a clever marketing idea, and it also freshens up the game. You're not using the same guns every game when you spawn in. Obviously, multiplayer-wise, we of course have Scrapyard, the fantastic map that we all know and love from Modern Warfare series. Is of course already in the Warzone map as Boneyard. Is a small section of that map is the multiplayer map. If you do want to see a gameplay on that, hopefully we can get one of those out for you in the next few days. Let me know in the comments if you do. But I want to play that map, so hopefully if you guys want that, we'll get a gameplay out in the next few days for you on that one. So let me know, like I say. But it will always be a good map. It always has been a good map. And I can only see that being fun to play. Especially if you land a lot of Boneyard in Warzone like me and my squad do. So we know a lot of the map pretty much off the back of our hands anyway. And obviously we've played it in previous Call of Duty. So it should be a lot of fun. Right, so then we move on to Warzone. We've got Warzone Rumble, a new 50v50 game mode. Which is obviously similar to Royal Rumble from Fortnite, where you just do 50v50 game modes. It's that sort of idea, so rather than everything being really serious, you could be more of a relaxed type of game mode if you just want to have a bit of a warm-up before your game. I feel like this is a nice idea. I quite like the idea of it, just adding in some variety into the playlist rather than just obviously solos, duos, trios, quads, plunder. At least you've got something else now that if you just want to have a chilled out sesh with your mates, you haven't got to be sweating all night trying to get dubs. It'll be pretty just chilled out in that game mode. There is a new contract system in Warzone, the contraband contract system. So what you'll do is you'll find this in a chest somewhere, you pick it up and start it, and you've then got the same as sort of like the bounty and like scavs and recons. You've got 3 minutes to get to that point, and once if you do complete them successfully, you do permanently unlock that blueprint into your weapons. It's basically a way to get a blueprint in game. Could be anything. There's no stipulation on what it could be. You could end up with like a shotgun, or you could get an AR or a sniper, but you'll be given that blueprint permanently in game if you can complete one of the contraband systems, which I think is a nice way to be able to get new guns into your game for free. Maybe you'll get really lucky and get a new really cool M4, or maybe an MP5 or something like that you can actually use in your Warzone games that might replace your current cycle of guns. So that could be really interesting. I feel like I'll be trying to complete a lot of these and get a lot of new guns, so I can try them all out for you guys and let you know what they're like. But I feel like that's a good system. As far as I'm aware, they have added back the most wanted system. So obviously we saw this before, where rather than it being a bounty, you pop a most wanted, it comes on yourself, everybody knows where you are on the map, but you do get a hell of a lot of money return if you do out-survive it. I believe it's only 3 minutes now rather than the 5 minutes it was before, because it was a bit silly when it was 5 minutes. It's an interesting thing. I'm not sure that I use them too much, so I tend to not want to give away my position, and money is normally not too hard to come by, and apparently in this new update, money seems to be a lot more available. You seem to get a lot more money from chests and floor loot, which is good. So I like the idea of being able to just get my load out, have a bit of money, get myself revive, get your UAV, get yourself sorted early on into a game. Then you can work your way into the kills and hopefully onto the dub. There is now what is called in-match events. So in-game events that can happen randomly in any game. They may not happen. I think I feel like I saw earlier that apparently at least one of these happens a game, but I've also seen people say they've gone through games and not seen this happen. So maybe you'll see this every game, maybe you won't. But there is 3 in-match events. We've got Jailbreak, Fire Sale, and Supply Chopper. Now, these obviously need a little bit of explaining, so we'll jump into that. So, Jailbreak, if at the time you are in the Gulag, or you've lost your Gulag fight, if you stayed in the game and you're spectating your team and your team haven't brought you back, or you're just waiting in the Gulag for your fight to come through, Jailbreak, if that happens, pretty much everyone from the game is dropped back into the map with just their pistol. So there could be like 32 players sat there watching their teammates or in the Gulag combined. They all just get thrown back into the map with just a pistol. That could be kind of crazy. It could lead to a lot of higher kill gameplays. For people like the likes of Vicstar and Wars, maybe they're going to be able to smash their gameplay kill rate out of the park, because there'll be so many players coming back into a game if you do get lucky enough in one of those games. Could be interesting though. So if you have been caught out and you haven't got your squad, you've got like one guy left in your team and he's not been able to get the cash together to bring you both back, or even just or however many there are, you could all come back for free, and it could be a really interesting adaptation to the game to maybe allow. If you think a game's gone down the pan, you could still pick up that dub. Fire Sale. So basically, for however long the period of time is, I'm not 100% sure on the period of time, everything in the shop is ridiculously cheap. So if you've got like 5k and you're thinking, God, I'll just get my self-res, you might be able to get self-res, a UAV, an armor box. You might be able to get so much stuff. It literally just makes the shop everything ridiculously cheap. So if you've got money, try and stack it up and hope that you get one of these come through. If it doesn't happen, obviously spend your money on your normal stuff. But mate, once you've got probably your self-res and your loadout, probably stack your money up. Just keep it, don't spend it, and maybe you'll get lucky with a fire sale game and you'll be able to get everything super cheap, and that obviously will help you with your game. Obviously you have a better chance of winning a game because you'll have more utensils and items with you, so it'll be a lot easier. And the third of these is Supply Chopper. Now what this is, there is, I believe, about 4 or 5 of them spawn. They're massive helicopters, almost like 8130 type things that spawn above the map. And they're effectively like a sort of a loot crate from Fortnite, that sort of idea, but slightly different. If you have to shoot it down, and then it will spin out of control once you've shot it down, crash, drop a loot crate, and they've normally got pretty cracked loot in it. I've been watching Vicstar's streams today. They shot one down earlier with Freezy, and I think they were playing with CB. And it dropped like UAVs, so many armor boxes, munitions boxes, guns, plates, all kinds of kill streaks. It looked pretty OP, I'm not going to lie. So if you're going to manage to be able to shoot one of them down, you're going to have crazy loot. But also remember that everyone else is going to be trying to do that as well. So maybe RPG spam could become a thing again if you're running RPGs on your overkill, on your ghost class. That could be very useful to shoot one down. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be attracted towards the area. So if you are going to shoot one down, beware that you are going to attract a hell of a lot of people and put yourself at high risk, but it is high reward. And obviously, as we all know, Captain Price is coming as a skin on the Battle Pass. We all knew this was coming from the trailer, but it's pretty exciting to have Captain Price in the game to use him. I'm probably going to be using his skin in game. Let me know what skins you're going to be using, whether you're going to stick with your current one, Captain Price, or maybe some of the new variations for the operators already in the game. But that is pretty much everything coming to the game tonight or this morning, whenever you are able to actually do your update. So for me, probably tomorrow. But if in any way this has helped you guys, hopefully you'll drop a like on this video and show some support by subscribing to the channel. We are currently at 745 subscribers at my time of recording. Kind of mental. The last week or so has been nuts for YouTube. I don't even know how to explain it, but please let this growth keep continuing. 1k in 2020 is the goal. You know it. Hashtag it down in the comments. Hashtag 1k 2020. Let me see that in the comments, and if you do, you're certainly getting a big old thumbs up in the comments. Subscribe if you are new around here, or if this is your first time, hopefully you have enjoyed and you'll drop a like. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I have helped you out, and hopefully you get plenty of dubs in Season 4. Thank you for watching, and
I wanna
peace.
take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever when I can't hold you.